you're telling me now that the heat is off or the
Yes, on
electricity?
December 19th, before ever receiving any warning, they completely turned the power off, and I've been living here with no power since then.
God, please, no! 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 No!
Wow, this is crazy. A landlord turned off a blind woman's power right before the holidays. Now, she's suing him, and Judge Simpson is about to make a decision. But will the right thing happen, or will things get worse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in.
I apologize. I have low vision. I can't see hard. I can't see the
Gotcha.
screen. So,
Okay, it's okay. The plaintiff's attorney is not here. I guess they're saying he signed in, but hasn't signed back in. You're here. Are you moving to dismiss this case, ma'am?
what does that entirely mean?
That means this case would be over, at least temporarily,
Then
because
yes,
they're not
please.
here. Pardon?
Does that mean that they would have to serve me all over again?
I'm sorry?
Does that mean that I would need to be served all over again?
Well, they'd probably have to start over. They'd have to serve you with something.
Okay. Then yes, I would like to dismiss.
Case dismissed.
Thank you
That's
so
without
much.
prejudice. They may come back and they may try to do something, but they'll have to, they'll at least have to try to start this case over and move to set it aside. But you'll get an opportunity
Okay.
to be heard if that happens, okay?
Okay, moving forward, what do I do now?
What do you
Do I stay put? Can I tell you about the case or?
No, you can't tell me about it. But yeah, you can stay where
Okay.
you are because I'm not signing. This case is dismissed, so I'm not signing any orders telling you have to do anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a
Oh,
great
do you have
new
any
year.
advice about, I'm sorry, do you have any advice about how I should move forward?
No, I
Oh,
can't give. I can't give you legal advice.
okay, what about the fact that the power has been turned off prior
Excuse
to
me.
ever receiving any paperwork? There
Hold on
is
a
no
second,
power
man.
in this.
Okay, hang on. I may vacate my dismissal on this, but hold on. You. All right. Are you sight impaired, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, and you're telling me now that the heat is off or the
yes, on
electricity?
December 19th, before ever receiving any warning, they completely turned the power off, and I've been living here with no power since then.
Do you have a lease there? I do see it. Hold on.
Yes,
Okay, your lease expired, it looks like. Are you there by yourself, ma'am, or?
I have my best friend that's here that helps me with my vision. He,
Got it.
he's present.
So you've been without electricity for
Just about a
since the
week, and
19th?
yes, and that's actually about 2 months ago. My landlord turned off the power in the back of the house, which was what the room that I was renting out. So I had to move my bed out to the kitchen area because that was where she just got half of the power. So I had to move into the living room area to stay warm.
This situation is insane. During a Zoom hearing, Judge Simpson expected the landlord to show up, but he didn't. So, the judge decided to end the case for the day. The blind woman, confused, asked if they would need to serve the landlord again. The judge confirmed the case was dismissed, but when she asked what to do next, he said he couldn't give legal advice. Then she dropped a huge detail. Her power and heat had been off for over 2 months. That made the judge rethink his decision. How could the landlord leave a blind woman in the cold? This is unbelievable. Let's see what happens next.
And then now on the 19th of December, she fully cut off all the power. So,
Um, was she supposed to? I'm trying to look through your lease real quick. Is it up to her utilities? Hang on. So you're sure she shut it off?
Yes. Um, I asked her about it and she was coy. So I don't know how I could prove that it was her giving, I don't have proof of it being specifically her.
Okay,
But there's
let's do.
people that live above me that they have power. It's just the bottom part of the apartment that has been shut off. So this whole
Okay,
building is not completely without power, just where I reside.
I got you. So here's what I'm going to do, ma'am. I'm going to vacate the dismissal. I'm not going to dismiss the case. Okay, because you can't continue like this, and it's about to get very cold out there
But
soon. Um,
okay,
I'm gonna. Here's what we're going to do. Their attorney signed in, but then signed out.
okay,
So, um, I don't want to put you out to the 10th, which is my next date, with the circumstances as you're explaining them. Follow
okay.
that? So,
Yeah.
what I want to do. So, what's my okay? I want noon. Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sign back on at noon today.
Okay,
Okay. We're going to try to get to the attorney in this to tell him that we want to see him here at noon today. And
okay,
let's see if we can get some of that resolved. Okay.
okay,
All right. So sign back on at noon. I'm not dismissing your case at this point. Sign back on at noon. We'll get the attorney here and see what we can do. All right.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good
You're
New Year.
welcome. You're welcome. We'll talk to you at noon. Okay. Take
Okay,
care.
thank you.
You're muted, Mr. Jerkis.
Edward Drucas for the plaintiff.
And your name, ma'am?
Brienne Portia?
Portia. All right. Um,
Your Honor,
Mr.
I apologize for this morning. I was having technical difficulties. I did become aware of what occurred, and I believe I have rectified that situation. I need to get confirmation from Brienne or the tenant. Has there been any change since this morning, Brianna?
Yeah, it's Brienne. Yes, thank you. The power is back on. Thank you so much for that. It's
Okay, so the
life-saving.
power is back on. Well, I'm going to have to ask the question so that we know. I would certainly just then go ahead. I think this was going to be dismissed, right? It was going to be
Yes.
dismissed. However, the real question for the court becomes,
I can't read what
Six,
you put in the chat.
it's okay. It's okay, ma'am. What was in the chat? What? I'm not sure what got put in the chat, but it was somebody else. Okay.
It gets even crazier. The blind woman is sure the landlord cut off her power, but she doesn't have solid proof. Here's the wild part. The people above her still have power, but her unit is completely dark. Suspicious, right? Judge Simpson picks up on this and tells her to rejoin the call later so he can talk to the landlord's lawyer. He's not dismissing the case so easily anymore. A few hours later, the lawyer finally shows up, acting all sorry for missing the morning hearing like it was an accident. Then something strange happens. Her power suddenly comes back on. What a coincidence, right? It's disgusting how they play games with basic needs like this. No one should have to fight this hard just to keep the lights on.
So
Okay.
it's okay. Here's what the issue is. Who shut off the electricity?
I would have the understanding that it is in the landlord's name, and there are a couple units in that property, and I think the wrong one got turned off, and it was never brought to the attention that it was her specific unit.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I reached out to my landlord, Diana, watches, and I did get a response. So she was aware that the power was cut off, the day after, I technically did not even receive my summonings because, like I told you previously, I have a partner here that helps me with my vision. And when I was supposedly served my summonings, I technically wasn't even served. They knocked on the door and I wasn't available, and they threw the paper at my partner.
Okay.
And
All right. I'm not going to worry about that. Here's what I'm
Right.
getting at. I guess I was getting at. Mr. Drukas, I'm not
Yes, Your
going
Honor.
to dismiss this. I'm going to set this over to the 10 because it may, and you may want to have your client and attempt to try to negotiate it. But if she's without power for those 9 days, your client may very much owe about $1,800 minimum to the defendant.
Is there any way that we can address escrow in the interim? Because this was a lease that ended back almost 6 months ago, or in August, and there have been no payments that have
I
been
asked
made.
for a bill, and
Hold
I was never
on,
received.
ma'am,
Yes,
stop.
sir.
There's been no payments.
Yeah, there's been no payments for
Well, how much is the monthly rent?
the monthly rent is at $500.
So 500. And so how much is plaintiff claiming she owes?
Currently, we have a balance at $3,480.
3480.
Correct.
Okay, well, I'm not going to have to put anything into escrow at this point because the issue is going to be your client may well owe her about 1,800 of that.
Okay.
And that's the floor of it under the lockout statute. So I mean, she may indeed end up owing her more. So why would I have her pay escrow at this point in time? So
Well,
I'm
it would
not
be-
dismissing the case. We're going to resolve this issue or figure out how we're going to resolve this issue. I'm going to set this over to January 10th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in person.
Thank you, Ann.
Your Honor, where is this located?
At the service center by the Washtenaw County Jail, you know where we are, Hogback and Carpenter.
I'm sorry, what name? Hardback?
Hogback and Carpenter.
Hogback, okay, and Carpenter. I am
Well,
familiar with
if you say Hogback like that, then that means you don't know where you're going because everybody around knows where Hogback is. So here's
I'm not,
all right.
I'm not from here. I just moved here, so.
Okay, no, and I can tell when you said Hogback. Okay, yeah, it's here. It's over by the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department.
Okay,
Okay, you want me to give you the address would be 4133 Washtenaw.
okay, you got that. Okay, thank you so much.
Not a problem. We'll see you
Is
there.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. What?
What will I need to go to? How do I don't know what. So I go there. Do I need anything?
What I've heard today, you just need to get here to the court hearing. We're going to try to flush out what we can flush out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good New Year.
And my phone number is on the paperwork. If you can give me a call, certainly I'd like to chat before the next hearing.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Judge Simpson wastes no time. He asks the big question, who turned off the power? The landlord's lawyer starts scrambling, saying it wasn't the landlord and that maybe the wrong unit was turned off by mistake. Really? Just a mix-up. The lawyer even says they didn't know it was her unit. But the blind woman isn't having it. She tells them she reached out to the landlord and got a response the next day. That excuse doesn't hold up. Judge Simpson doesn't believe it either. He says if she was without power for 9 days, the landlord could owe her $1,800. That's when the lawyer freaks out and says her lease ended months ago and she didn't pay. But the woman responds, saying she asked for a bill and never got one. Now, they say she owes $3,400 or more. This is getting messier by the minute. The case is rescheduled for an in-person hearing, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Want me to cover the next update? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.